morning. So I made it to the town of Rose Hall yesterday and stopped at the tea room there. And that was the first restaurant that I've seen in 130 miles. And so while there, I decided I wanted to sleep in a bed. So I went to a Airbnb that was close by. I'll insert a picture there. And the couple that was running it were lovely. And yeah, so it was good. It was exactly what I needed. It gave me a big breakfast this morning. Still have not found a grocery store, so today hopefully I'll make it 50 miles to Canton, and I believe there's a grocery store there. Otherwise I'm going to be out of food, but stopping for the tea room for an early dinner last night and then having a big breakfast this morning hopefully will fuel me until I get there. Yeah, so Rose Hall is a nice little village, and I had a nice relaxing stay. So these long gravel climbs in northern Scotland are getting to me. I just don't have my cycling legs, so I've ended up having to push up a lot of these hills. More about yesterday. Yesterday was a really hilly day and a lot of loose gravel, so I felt like every mile was earned. The uphills were steep, the downhills were loose gravel, so I had to keep braking. And then when I was on the flats with a smooth surface, every time I would have a headwind. So things were working against me yesterday. It was a beautiful ride. Probably the prettiest area that I've ridden through, at least since the first day, right when I was taking off. So yeah, this is not easy. But it is beautiful. I'm starting to run into a few more cyclists along the way. I just stopped and talked to a lovely German couple that had started at Land's End. They were not following the Great Britain Divide like I have been, but they have been riding on gravel roads every day. And so I think, especially when I get down to Wales in southern England, where there's supposed to be a lot of locked gates and some bogs, I may look at doing their technique and not sticking strictly to the route. I'm also tempted to go over into Ireland and ride just a little bit over there, ride in a different country. So I'll have to look at the map and see what makes sense. Yeah, for now, Scotland. This is my view, and I think I've made it to the top of the climb, so now I can start riding downhill again. So yeah, hopefully after a couple of weeks I'll have my cycling legs and I can do a few more miles a day, and maybe these climbs will start to feel a little bit easier. But in the meantime, it appears that backpacking does not train you to bike pack, at least your legs. So there you go. After about 10 miles of loose gravel and bog, I am happy to be back on some smooth top road for just a little bit. And I think I might have a little bit of a tailwind for the first time in a while. So, all right. Hello there, cow. Are you friendly? Are you friendly? I guess so. So it's about 8 o'clock and I got into Canton, which was my goal for the day. And the grocery store was already closed and the campground was closed, but I was able to get me some dinner from the Smitty Chippy. And so looks like I got a chicken pie and some chips and some sparkling water, so that's all good. And as I'm sitting here eating, I'm noticing down there, the river runs down there, so I think I'm going to try to find a campsite, a stealth site down there. I had planned on staying at the campground, but yeah, they closed early. They were supposed to be there till 8 and they were not. So alright, so that's my evening plans, and I'll be able to buy groceries in the morning. It's supposed to rain tomorrow all day long, so not sure what tomorrow looks like yet. I'll have to figure that out. Good morning. It's the morning of day 6. Day 5 was a 0 day. I just decided after 173 miles in 4 days and still trying to get my cycling legs that it was a good time to take a 0 day. It was also going to rain all day, which it did. So it was a perfect rest day. And I was here at the Ben Wyvis in Strath Puffin, I think is her Peffer, Strath Puffin. Anyhow, and had a lovely stay. Was able to resupply on groceries at the Morrison's Daily that was nearby, a little small convenience store, but it had everything I needed. And so today I'm headed to Fort Augustus at least, and hopefully a little bit past. So hopefully I'll be able to catch a meal there. I think that grocery stores and mills will start to be easier to come by now that I'm a little bit further south, as opposed to the first 173 miles where there was only one place. So anyway, I feel refreshed this morning. I'm ready to get out and ride. I had a good breakfast at the hotel, and today it may rain a little bit, but most of the rain has passed, so I'm looking for a dry day. they seem to break your momentum. It's like when you want to go fast up the hill, you have to start from a stop position. Oh well, it's beautiful out here. And at least the gate was unlocked. All right, time to climb. The end of day 6, and I've got my tent set up here. Ended up being a really nice riding day, although some tough miles in there on some loose gravel climbs and descents. And I just set up near the top of one. Just a couple of miles outside of Fort William, I believe. I did like 45 miles today. And stopped in Struy for dinner, had a pizza, and enjoyed talking to an older guy that was a cyclist that said he had been riding for like 45 years. And so we had a nice conversation and talked about different routes, and then also talked to a couple of the locals. And it was kind of interesting going into that area because it's the first area that I've ridden in on this trip that I've also backpacked in. So the TGO Challenge, the West Coast to East Coast backpacking event in Scotland that happens every May, I guess 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, the 2023 version of the TGO. David and I hiked through Struy, and so when I drove through there and saw the church, immediately I recognized that I had been there. And so that's kind of cool, being a foreign country for me, and all of a sudden realize you've been somewhere that you're riding through. It's just a little bitty village. In fact, it may be too small to be called a village. I don't know what they call that's smaller than a village, but it's there's not much there. But there was a little Spar grocery store that was cooking pizzas, so that was my dinner. All right, so now I'm gonna get in my tent. It's kind of cool this evening. It was warm this morning, but cool this evening. So I'm looking forward to getting in my sleeping bag and being horizontal for a bit. All right, end of day 6.